Good afternoon, esteemed dignitaries, respected professors and participants. I, Janvi Taude, along with my co-host Raghav Jha, on the behalf of the entire IM Nagpur fraternity, welcome you all to the Zero Mile Samvad, a thought leadership summit that aims to bring the best of the world to Nagpur and take the best of the Nagpur to the rest of the world.
We request Dr. Maitri to present a bouquet to Shri Devendra Fadnavis ji and Siddharth Zarabi. Now, we would like to invite Dr. Bhimrai Maitri, Director, IIM Nagpur, to deliver the welcome address.
Very good afternoon, respected Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Sri Devendra Fadnavis ji, Sri C.P. Gurnani, MD, CEO, Tech Mahindra, Chairman, Board of Governors, IIM Nagpur, Mr. Siddharth, Business Today, all the board members, distinguished invited guests, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome today's a special address by none other than Honorable Deputy CM Sri Devendra Fadnavis ji on the occasion of a unique kind of Samvad, Zero Mile Samvad, ZMS. ZMS is a first of its kind, unique signature event IIM Nagpur started this year, ZMS 2023, based on four important pillars. One is the four important stakeholders coming on this: the government, business, technocrats, and sustainability experts. All the four experts coming together on a single platform to prepare a roadmap for 5 trillion economy for the India for coming 2 years. And this platform, there are, since yesterday, number of discussion, deliberations and special panel discussions we have conducted, so that at the end of the conclusion day today, we can come out with the roadmap so that we can not only achieve 5 trillion economy, but we must go beyond 5 trillion economy. So today we are lucky to have a dynamic, vibrant and SSV leader, Devendra Fadnavis ji, for addressing all of us on this occasion. I welcome once again, sir, for this Zero Mile Samvad. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We would now like to welcome Shri C.P. Gurnani, Chairman, Board of Governors, IIM Nagpur, and CEO and MD, Tech Mahindra, to deliver the ZMS report.
Good afternoon, and welcome on your behalf to the Honorable Shri Devendra Fadnavis ji. I have no hesitation in saying that many of you gave Professor Maitri and me compliments that IIM Nagpur is one of the best things that has happened to Nagpur recently. So thank you guys for that beautiful compliment. I could not respond to you yesterday and day before because when I was getting these compliments, there was always the bands and the music playing. Now, in your presence, I acknowledge that all this land was allocated when Mr. Fadnavis was the Chief Minister. I came to Nagpur because of Mr. Fadnavis. And the relationship has continued so beautifully that every event that we have had of significance in IIM Nagpur, Mr. Fadnavis has personally graced it. So thank you so much. Sir, I mean, I can go on and on about your contribution to the nation, your contribution to Maharashtra, but it's very important that I do warn you that there are two requests coming your way. One is there was an intense discussion on green energy through the morning. And on green energy, since the discussions were led by Shrikant Vaidya, the chairman of IOCL, the mute question was, Nagpur has got land, Nagpur has got youth, Nagpur has got engineering talent, Nagpur is the zero-mile city. Why this refinery, which is stuck in some other part of Maharashtra, why can't we move it here? So that request is coming to you, sir. I just want, as I told you, since you came from back-to-back meetings, I could never brief you. The second request is, which Times of India has already published, that Mr. Fadnavis has agreed to give 60 acres of land in Pune for the extension of postgraduate programs of IIM Nagpur and also the executive development programs. So guys, in anticipation, big hand. So it's been a very interesting 2 days, sir. We started on 14th evening by having a CEO dinner in which we basically, the purpose was, how to showcase Nagpur, how to showcase, IIM Nagpur, and how to start in an informal way a discussion on not just the 5 trillion economy, but beyond. On 15th, we have had very intense parallel tracks. Some of them were by the startups, some of them were by the sports icon Vishwanath Anand, some of them were by the education minister. But the point is, it was a high impact first inaugural edition of ZMS, and this morning we had our overseas visitor Rusha coming in from Norway. She led the discussion because she had set up a telecom network, a telecom company in India, those who would remember 2G or those who would want to forget 2G. So anyway, Rusha, thank you for coming. Similarly, one of the youth icons, Ishika Tandon, who happens to be a personal friend of the family, and more, I'm proud to be her uncle. And she led the discussion on the career choices because she is from London School of Economics, and she took some very ambitious goals. Hopefully she would have a chance to interact with students a lot more. But overall, I can only say is, it's been an energetic morning, and we know it will become even more energetic, even more green energetic with you taking over, sir. So over to you. To my friends in BT. Is it okay if I hand over, or you want to hand over? No, you like to give the introduction of...
Thank you, sir. Today we welcome not just a politician, but a visionary leader, a development champion, and the architect of Maharashtra's rise, Shri Devendra Fadnavis.
Shri Devendra Fadnavis, the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, has steered the state through a period of unprecedented growth and transformation. He has implemented various programs like Jal Yug Shivar Abhiyan, Mahagram Adarsh Yojana, and the Rural Growth Mission, empowering farmers, igniting entrepreneurial spirit, and fostering a culture of collaboration through cooperatives.
His initiatives have spurred rural innovation, empowered small businesses, and promoted collaborative ventures for sustainable growth. Sir, we would request you to address the gathering.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Shri C.P. Gurnani ji, Shri Bhimrao Maitre ji, Shri Siddharth ji, and all the dignitaries present here, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to thank C.P. Gurnani ji for his kind words, but I must confess that myself and our leader Shri Nitin Gadkari ji, we always wanted to make Nagpur an education hub, and that is why we thought that we should have iconic institution like Indian Institute of Management at Nagpur. But it is iconic because of you, Mr. Gurnani, the way you and Maitri ji have shaped this institution. I think that has made it great. So I would say that we have been just the facilitators, and you were the people who were instrumental in bringing up this institution to today's repute. And when I look at the way it is progressing, I'm absolutely sure that it will be one of the premium institutions in our country. Now let me respond to what you have said about, one of the announcement which you read in Times of India. I didn't even read it in Times of India. I got to know it from you. But let me tell you, if there is any plan from IIM Nagpur to establish a campus in Pune, I'll be very happy to give land. It will be a pride for the zero-mile city of Nagpur to have the presence of its iconic institution in Pune, which is a sort of technology and education hub of India. So I would like to tell you that whenever any such proposal from the IIM Nagpur reaches me, I'll try and expedite it. Today, I'm very happy that this zero-mile Samvad has been organized by IIM Nagpur. I think a Samvad like this is not only thought-provoking, but it also paves a way towards our goals. When the business leaders, thought leaders, political leaders, all of them come together, express their views, put forth their ideas, I think that culminates into a bigger idea which takes you towards your goal. And today, we have aligned the central idea of zero-mile Samvad with the goal given to us by our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, to make India a 5 trillion economy by 2030. I'm absolutely sure that we are going to achieve the 5 trillion mark by 2030. In fact, few of the reports suggest that by 2030, India may not be 5 trillion, India can be 9 trillion. And I think the strong leadership and also the youth, the human resource of this country will surely make it possible. Friends, I would say that this is the most opportune time for India. In fact, in 90s, we started liberalization, globalization. We opened our doors for the world. But for years together, we were struggling. We are not confident. We are apprehensive. What is going to happen? What's going to happen to our own industries? We also heard a talk that there will be one more East India company which will take over India. From there, we started progressing. We could see Indian industries, Indian businesses standing strongly in the global competition, and in last 9 years, we have seen that now there is no more struggle. There is no more just aspiration, but with a very strong resolve, we can see a Atmanirbhar India being built, a self-reliant India being built, a India which was never so confident. And it's not about just the confidence of India. The global community is more confident that the brightest spot today is India, and I think that is something which has changed in last 10 years. The geopolitical situation has also given us opportunity to be at the forefront. We have seen that for 30 years, China was factory of world. China manufactured for entire world. China has been backbone of supply chain, global supply chain. But during the pandemic, the global businesses have realized that we cannot put our all eggs in one basket. With the policies of China, where there is no guarantee of protection of intellectual property right, today the entire world is looking for next manufacturing destination. The world is looking for alternate supply chain. And people used to say that it is far away. Now the businesses are shifting to Vietnam, to Indonesia, to Philippines. But these countries have a very small appetite. When there is an exodus, these countries are not capable of handling it. Today, after a little shift, we can see that there are a lot of energy problems, labor problems, shortage of human resource in many of these countries. And now the world has realized that the only destination where we can actually locate ourselves and create a new icon for global supply chain is none but India. And I think that gives us a very huge opportunity to become a global leader. And that is why when we talk about 5 trillion economy, I think today's topic which is given to me is very relevant, whether Maharashtra will be the gateway to 5 trillion economy. And I would say Maharashtra has to, and Maharashtra will be the gateway to 5 trillion economy. When we look at Maharashtra, a state which contributes around 15% to national GDP, with Mumbai as capital, which is financial, commercial and entertainment capital of India, Maharashtra accounts for 25% of Indian exports, 29% of FDI inflows, 18% of industrial output, and barring the COVID years, our 7-year CAGR has been 10.4%, and we have 57% population which is below 27 years of age. We have highest number of universities in the country, and we also account for largest generation of and consumption of electricity in the entire country. I believe that if India has to become a 5 trillion economy, Maharashtra has to achieve a $1 trillion economy mark, and we have already started our journey towards becoming a $1 trillion economy. And I think technology plays most important part in this journey. It's an important enabler. It's a force multiplier which provides immense scale, and it's very crucial for such huge population so that there is always an equity and not just handful of people have the fruits of the development. And I think this technology-led development plan is one of the most important thing which will bring equity in our journey towards $1 trillion economy. We all know that technology by its existence and design is very inclusive. It doesn't recognize whether the person is Devendra Fadnavis or whether it is CP Gurnani or whether it is anybody else. Everybody is in a virtual queue, first in and first out. And I think when the governance recognizes that it has to be led by the technology, it brings a lot of transparency, it brings efficiency, and that is why I think technology will be one of the biggest pillars to achieve the $1 trillion mark. I think the speed of travel and the speed of data are the two things which will determine our progress. Speed of travel, of course, the mobility is something which not only gives you quality life, but it also allows you to create a new supply chain. It also allows you to create a new ecosystem And the speed of data, of course, today, when we are in an era of 5G, the speed of data will allow us to democratize education and healthcare. It will allow us to reach the last man of the society. It will bring somebody who is residing in a metro city like Mumbai and somebody who is living in the last village of Gadchiroli at same level. And that's why I think the speed of data and the speed of travel are two things which will determine how we progress. Today, we can see the way infrastructure is being built in our country and especially in Maharashtra. I think world over, we have seen a model of infrastructure-led development. You create infrastructure and it has a trickle-down effect. You create an infrastructure and it puts you on autopilot mode. And that's what we are trying to do. And it's not just creating infrastructure, creating proper infrastructure, creating inclusive infrastructure, creating infrastructure in proper time frame. I must tell you that our Nagpur-Mumbai Samruddhi Expressway, which is very near to this Indian Institute of Management, Nagpur, is testimony that 700 kilometers greenfield road, the entire land acquisition was done in 9 months. And the road is created in 4 years. It's one of the speediest creation in the country. And look how it has changed the entire ecosystem in Vidarbha. And that is why I think we actually created an economic advisory council to chart a roadmap for making India, Maharashtra, a $1 trillion economy. This economic advisory council is led by Mr. N. Chandrasekharan of Tata Sons and 20 strong CEOs from India, especially from Maharashtra, and also leaders from diverse fields. They created a report. After extensive deliberation, after extensive field survey, they created a report. And this report was accepted by Government of Maharashtra. And we created our own version of Niti Aayog, which is Mitra. And now this Mitra is in charge of implementing this report of the Economic Advisory Council. And this EAC report deliberates on 9 takeaways. First is, of course, how to maintain our growth rate, because between 15 to 20, our growth rate was nearly 12%, but during COVID years, it became negative. And now for $1 trillion economy, we want to take it to 12 to 14%. And how do we do it are the ideas which are given by this Economic Advisory Council. One more challenge for the $1 trillion economy is the disparity. Now, if you look at Maharashtra, out of our 36 districts, 7 districts contribute 55% of GDP. And bottom 18% districts contribute less than 20%. So although at the macro level, we may say that economically Maharashtra is a leader, but when we look at the microeconomic scenario, there is a huge disparity. But we can see it other way. It's not just disparity, it's also opportunity. Now these 18 districts, if we focus and we accelerate their development, will automatically hit the number which we require. And we have always seen that to develop a potentially developed economy is very difficult. But with proper ideas, proper decisions, and proper investment plans, we can accelerate the aspiring economies, and that will be our strategy. So, a balanced growth will be our strategy. Our focus now will be more on new age industry like EV, semiconductor, hardware manufacturing, green hydrogen. And I forgot to respond to your thought about refinery. And let me tell you, Mr. Gurnani, I'm totally ready to welcome a refinery in Nagpur. I am ready to give the land. I am ready to provide everything. The only problem is that the government of India has planned a coastal refinery. And unfortunately, I cannot bring sea and coast to Nagpur. That is my problem. So, coming back to the new age technology, one more area which will lead us towards this $1 trillion economy is tourism. Maharashtra is blessed with 4 UNESCO sites, 350 plus forts, which are very historical. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj is icon of India, is icon of Maharashtra. These are not mere forts. They are marvels of architecture. They are marvels the way they are planned. We have 6 national parks, 50 wildlife sanctuaries. This Nagpur is not a mere zero-mile city, but it's also tiger capital of India. The highest population of tigers is located in Maharashtra, and that too in Vidarbha near Nagpur. We have 720 kilometers of coastline, and nearly 15% of the Indian tourists start their journey from Mumbai. So that gives us huge opportunity. We also have 4 Jyotirlings, which is also very important for domestic tourism. We have Ajanta-Ellora. Ajanta has always been an attraction for global tourists. So our main growth can also come from tourism. And at the same time, I feel that we need to work more on sustainability in agriculture. Today, what is pulling down, what is bringing us down in our growth story is the effects of climate change on the agriculture. A team from central government recently visited to look at the drought situation in Maharashtra. Yesterday I interacted with them and they told me that in a same district we visited drought affected area, unseasonal rain area, hailstorm area. So all kind of calamities have been experienced. And that is why climate resilient agriculture is something which is need of time. We have started a program with World Bank on climate resilient agriculture, making our agriculture climate proof, using technology in agriculture, using good practices in agriculture, and also we are now focusing on using organic practices in agriculture. And I think this is one area, because in Maharashtra, agriculture contributes to around 35% or 40% of employment. But the share of agriculture in our GDP is now less than 10%. So the disparity is created that with the efforts of 35 to 40% workforce, we are creating less than 10% of the GDP. Those people will always remain poor unless we put in technology, unless we put in new ideas, unless we make the agriculture climate resilient, unless we provide them water security. And that is why now in Maharashtra, we are specially working on providing water security to our farmers. Now for 5 trillion economy and 1 trillion economy of Maharashtra, we would also require lot of land and capital requirement. We'll have a lot of land and capital requirement. So there are different ideas, different tools through which we are trying to free up the land and make the land parcels available for investments. And so far as capital requirements is concerned, I think in today's world, I've experienced that if you have a project which is bankable, even for a project of government which is bankable, today capital is not a problem. I recently visited to Japan and I showcased our iconic project of VVSL, Warsaw Virar Sea Link, which will be a sea link of 42 kilometers. And after looking at the way it is going to change the mobility in Mumbai and MMR region, they almost agreed to fund this VVSL. And in my last tenure as Chief Minister, I started projects worth $30 billion in the state of Maharashtra. And I think there was a report from Deutsche Bank in 2019 which said that Maharashtra accounts for 49% of the big infrastructure projects. Those are undertaken in the country. So I think today for infrastructure, for the projects which will accelerate your growth, capital is required. But I think if you have a proper approach, if you have a proper governance, I must tell you, in Mumbai, for the first metro, it took 11 years to create a 11-kilometer metro, and in 5 years, I started 372 kilometers of metro network, out of which 50 kilometers is already delivered. In 6 months, we'll deliver 50 kilometers more. Next year, 50 kilometers more. So it's a approach in the governance. The iconic projects like Trans Harbour Link, which is a 22-kilometer sea bridge, planned in 70s. Talk started in 90s. Never happened. 2014, I took over. I went to the central government. I got all the approvals. And today, this 22 kilometers, which is the longest sea bridge ever built in India, is ready. And most probably in the month of January, our Honorable Prime Minister will inaugurate it. The projects like New Mumbai Airport, the projects like the Coastal Road, which have been stuck for years together, it's only because of the new governance model which Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji started and which was replicated in the state of Maharashtra, that we could start such iconic projects. And again, for $1 trillion economy, we would require to enhance our power generating capacity by almost double, little less than double. And I think we have started progressing towards that. But now we are fortunate when one world is talking about energy transition. On one hand, we'll start the energy transition, but on other hand, while we are developing, we can develop with the green energy. We don't have to go on the path of transition. And that's what we have started in Maharashtra. We are the first state to have green hydrogen policy. We have entered into MOUs of creating pump storage facility, and an investment of 2 lakh crore is envisaged to create these facilities. And one more iconic project now for agriculture sector, we are using 17,000 megawatt of electricity which is coal fired. We came up with a new solution in 2018. The feeders are separated. We said not big solar parks, but the feeder will be solarized. We did 1,000 megawatt in 2018-19. It's running very well. And now in next 3 years, 16,000 megawatt of the agriculture feeder will be shifted on solar. 4,000 megawatt have already been tendered. In next 6 months, we are tendering 4,000 megawatt more. And that gives us one big advantage, because today the landed cost of our power for farmer is 7 rupees. And we charge the farmer 1 rupee 25 paise. So almost 5 rupees 75 paise is the subsidy. Half of the subsidy goes from our budget and half of the subsidy is loaded on industries. Today industries are also coming to us and saying that, look, we are global players, energy cost is increasing, but when we are moving towards solarization, I think The cost is 2 rupees 90 paise. It's 3 rupees 10 paise. In some areas 2 rupees 70 paise. So around 4 rupees average we are saving on every single unit. Around 13,000 crores of subsidy will be saved by this transition towards solar. And I'm very happy that now the government of India has instructed all other state governments to follow the Maharashtra model of solarization. I think I have already ran out of my time, and I could see that there is a small dialogue between MOC and the organizers. So I would conclude that yes, Maharashtra is going to lead the way, because recently a survey was done by Outlook and it has established I am very sure that Maharashtra is going to lead the way. I would just like to conclude by what Peter Drucker once said: the best way to predict the future is to create it. So I would like to say, join me. Let us work together to make India a $5 trillion economy and Maharashtra a $1 trillion economy. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra, Jai Bharat.